Hey there again, all my fast track superheroes. So I'm here for another video. Again, this is Colton from JCell. The last video I did was about self-advocacy. So if you want to go check that out, it'd be great. Now today, we're going to talk about communication. Now, communication is one of those things that everybody has to have and everybody needs to be really good at. Because if you're not, then you're really not going to get anywhere in life, unfortunately. However, there are different types of communication, different ways of communicating, and there's really 7 ways of being able to be a good communicator. So we're going to cover that today. So I'm going to link a paper that I've done in the description. So if you want to go check that out, that'd be great. That's what I'll be probably following along with today. So we're going to work on first communication styles. So there's really 4 communication styles that there can be. There's the analyzer. So this is someone who likes facts to be organized, prefers control over chaos, and likes instruction. So this is somebody that really enjoys having structure and being able to maintain a good way of communication. There's rules. Then we have the director. The director is goal-oriented, so they know what they want and they're going to do anything to get that goal. And wants to see progress. They want to keep going and continue with this communication and continue with the project at hand. They're competitive. They take charge and they make strong decisions. So pretty much what that's saying is they're going to do it. They have their idea, their goal. They're going to accomplish it no matter what. The third one we have is a socializer. They have a lot of motivation, so they're really geared up and ready to go no matter what they do. They love teamwork. They love working with others. So getting different ideas, bouncing ideas off each other, brainstorming. This is what this type of person and communicator love to do. As well as they're caring and sensitive, and they can be a good listener. A lot of times, good communication comes from listening and listening very well. If you don't listen, then you're not really understanding what anybody else is going through or their ideas. If you're just like, oh, I'm going to do this straight to the point, you're not listening to everybody else, you could probably make somebody mad, or somebody could have an amazing idea, but you never hear about it. Then the last type, we have the relator. They enjoy change, constant change. It doesn't matter, they don't love stability. They love constantly doing new things. As well as they're friendly and positive. And they love big ideas, and they're adaptable. So from there, what you can do is they are given an idea, but suddenly it changes. So they're able to adapt and be able to change their ways of doing things in order to do that. So those are really the communication styles and really the people that they're with. Now we're going to move on to the different types of communication. So again, there's 4 different types. We have a passive communicator, or different type. So they're emotionally dishonest, so they don't really talk about their feelings, and they are just kind of lay back and let everybody else do their own thing. As well as they're indirect blaming, so they may not blame just one person, they'll kind of slide around and kind of shadily blame the other person without really saying it. They're apologetic, so they say sorry all the time. And as well as they're self-denying, so whenever they do something, they're kind of I did it, but I don't really want to get claim to it, you know what I mean? The second one we have is passive-aggressive. These types of people are, again, emotionally dishonest. They don't really necessarily convey their emotions the way they should. As well as they're indirect. So they're not necessarily straight to the point. They're more, the point's here, we're going to go over here, and then we're going to go back, and then over and over again. And then they put themselves above everybody else. So they're kind of in that mindset of they got a really big head. And so they're kind of I'm better than everybody else, and I don't really care or what anybody else thinks of me. Kind of like that idea. third type, we have aggressive. Now, these people are blunt, straight to the point, don't care whose feelings they hurt, they're gonna tell you how it is. As well as they can be kind of aggressive and controlling. Because they're so blunt, people think of them as really aggressive and don't really understand the fact that, hey, I'm just being straight to the point with you. As well as they're expressive and they tend to put themselves before others. So they tend to be kind of selfish in that way. Then the last one, assertive. They're honest, they're direct. So they tell the truth no matter what, kind of like similar to being blunt, but more nice, I guess, is a good way to say it. They're confident and understands their needs and rights along with everybody else participating. This is the kind of communicator that I think everybody really needs to be. They need to be able to know themselves, know the situation, and go from there. Because if you don't really know your situation and your surroundings and how things are going, you really are lost. So you need to be able to say who you are, what accommodations you need, what your disability is, and kind of being able to say, hey, I need this in order for me to do this. But do it in a nice way so people don't think you're really blunt and really mean or aggressive. If that makes sense. So lastly, I want to talk about what makes an effective or a really good communicator. So there's 7 things that really make up the boat, how you will, of crossing the 7 C's. And so ironically, there are 7 C's. So I'll link this in the description below of kind of what I'm going off of. But you need to be able to be effective, understandable, and responsive. So the first C that we have is completeness. So being able to say what you want, when you want it, and how you need it. You need to be complete in all of your thoughts. So you just can't be like, I don't really know, or you kind of half say something, but you really want a full something. You need to be direct and straight to the point. Consideration is the second C. Consideration really just means you have to think about other people as well as yourself. You need to kind of come at it from a different perspective and look at somebody else's point of view of how they're seeing what the situation and be like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on. So it may not be the type of situation that you're used to, but you kind of have to realize you're not going to get your way all the time. So you're going to have to kind of be like, okay, I'm understanding your feelings right now. I'm going to back off a little bit. Third C is clarity. Being clear in what you're talking about. Don't be what we quote unquote in English, beat around the bush. Don't be like, well, you really want one thing, but you're going to kind of go here, and then here, and then here, and here. You're not really straight to the point. You kind of need to be straight to the point, but you need to be assertive in that way. And not be kind of like unclear of what you want. And this kind of goes with the 4C, conciseness. You need to be specific. You need to say, I need this, I am this person, and I need it in this time. But you also need to understand and all of the other components of, yeah, you can't be demanding, but you have rights to these things. So you kind of have to be like, okay, look, this is my situation, this is what I'm going through, I need this and this in order to complete my job or school or whatever. Then the 5th one we have is concreteness. You have to be able to support what you want. So like say if you need a specific accommodation and for a test or different things, you have your IEP 504 or different types of documentation saying, hey, I need this, and if I don't have this, then I'm not going to do well with whatever I'm doing. So you have to have some evidence and some facts saying, hey, I need this, and this is how I can support that. The 6th one, courtesy. Be nice to people. Well, you never know what somebody's going through on a given day. Like, everybody has good days, everybody has bad days. So you just kind of be nice and approach the situation gently. And really that's how you become an effective communicator, is Be like, okay, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is everything going on. Here we go. And the last one, correctness. You got to know what you're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, then there's no point at all asking for accommodations or being a good communicator. You got to know what you're talking about. Other than that, then yeah. Well, that kind of sums up the communication lesson before, or all of that. So, like I said in the last episode, I'm gonna kind of highlight a key kind of a superhero every video, every other video that has a disability. So last time we talked about Batgirl or the Oracle, how she was put in a wheelchair or due to an accident that she had with the Joker. Today, we're actually going to be talking about somebody from the X-Men. This guy's name is Artie Maddicks. He's an X-Men, member of the X-Men team. He was actually born or mute, or somebody that really can't talk. And this is due to a kind of physical deformity within his throat and mouth, so things just didn't quite form right. However, he was actually given the power of telepathy. So telepathy is kind of being able to read people's minds and control things with your mind. So, one of his powers is like get somebody in one mind of thinking and not being able to do that. That was his power. So then whatever was happening around them, they weren't focusing on that. They were just focusing on whatever Artie was making them think about. So he also used this to communicate with people. He would picture a thought or think of what he was going to say and then put it into somebody's mind. That's how he communicated it with people. Well, and it kind of backfires a lot in the comic books, but a lot of times that's how he learned how to communicate, was through his superpower. So it really helped. Then we run into a situation with the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is a kind of like a villain kind of person within the X-Men universe, and she took away his power of telepathy, so he wasn't able to communicate. But since then, they created a helmet for him to use his powers in a kind of a different format, but he has to wear a helmet to do it. So it was very similar, and he had to adapt his communication style for that reason. So that's kind of how it relates to communication. You just need to be able to find what ways communicating works for you and what ways it doesn't. And from there, you can do amazing things, and I know you can. So again, I just want to reiterate, stay safe, stay calm, stay healthy, and just remember to always look on the upside. Thanks, and see you in the next video.